And now, moment of truth. Technology, right? Let me share the whole desktop. No. Let me share the browser, and then we're gonna see. So now, share sound. Double check stereo. Yeah. Fingers crossed. Share. Can you see my screen at least?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Perfect. Now I'm gonna do a test.
Bitcoin had a historic day, setting all-time highs by the hour.
Can you hear the video? I paused
Yeah,
it.
we can absolutely hear the video. Awesome.
Oh, I did it. Okay. All right, let's go. So it's 10-minute long. Okay. So grab a coffee. We good? Okay. Let's go.
Past 80K in the morning, touching 87K, then 88K, and finishing over 89K by the end of the day. It took 9 years for Bitcoin's price to go from 0 to 20K. Well, it just went up over 20K in just a week. November 11th was Bitcoin's largest daily move ever. Can you believe it? Peter Schiff can't. He's still claiming Bitcoin is the largest Ponzi scheme ever. He was also saying that 11 years ago when Bitcoin was $300 per coin. Remember when Dave Ramsey said that Bitcoin is a great way to turn $1 million to zero?
It's a really good way to turn $1 million into nothing.
Or when Peter Zeihan said it was worth less than zero?
What's Bitcoin at? 16,000? It has another 17,000 to go down.
Well, it looks like it's now being priced accordingly. Regardless of whether you were a skeptic before, you should take Bitcoin seriously now. Today, I'm going to answer the text that I get like, why is Bitcoin's price going higher today? And where do you think it's going from here? I won't bury the lead. It's not just a Trump trade.
It's going up forever, Laura. Forever.
Right. Are you ready? Yeah. People are hitting me up like, yo, Dante, where do you think Bitcoin's price is going to be in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? The conversation usually goes like this.
The amount will be $50 million.
$50 million?
If you're not as bullish as me, then just listen to Michael Saylor.
You buy Bitcoin, you hold it for more than 4 years, Joe. That's my advice to everybody.
For anyone, buy it and hold it for more than 4 years. And then you think eventually it takes how much, let's say it is digital gold, what percentage of gold's market cap does it finally?
You know, Bitcoin's 0.1% of the capital in the world right now. I think it's going to go to 7% of the capital.
7%?
My long-term forecast is it's going to go to 13 million over 21 years.
Whether it's $50 million or $13 million a coin, whatever price you say will shatter people's brains because they don't understand what Bitcoin truly is. They laugh at you at first, and then they ridicule you. And then a few months or a few years later, they come back and say that you were right all along. Going back to that Saylor clip, this is the same CNBC crew that was questioning his wild claims and didn't believe that he was actually true or was wildly even close to what Bitcoin could be.
Just looking at MicroStrategy and thinking about, it's 50 billion now, but thinking about Michael Saylor and all along what his viewpoint has been and how he wasn't shy at all about, and he almost in real life has laser eyes, almost in real life. But the stackers and the hodlers, they must be, at this point, anyone who has been stacking or hodling is on top of the world.
People think that Bitcoin is competing with other technology stocks, but it isn't. Bitcoin is competing as global money and the global store of wealth. Yesterday, Bitcoin became the 8th largest asset in the world, surpassing silver, which is 4,000 years old, and it did it in just 16 years. Speaking of silver, in a stunning example of the internet always keeping receipts, on Twitter, a random woman named Susan said that she exchanged her 1 Bitcoin for 1,000 silver coins in 2020. Guess that trade didn't work out too well from her. But back to Bitcoin becoming the global money or the global store of wealth. Bitcoin is coming for gold next, which has an $18 or $19 trillion market cap. After being a long-term skeptic, Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, said that Bitcoin is digital gold. It's legitimate, it's an international asset, and it will become the global store of value moving forward.
It's digitizing gold in many ways. Instead of investing in gold as a hedge against inflation, a hedge against the onerous problems of any one country or the devaluation of your currency, whatever country you're in, let's be clear, Bitcoin is an international asset. It's not based on any one currency. And so it can represent an asset that people can play as an alternative. I would call The foundation of BlackRock is about hope. You invest for retirement because you believe tomorrow is better than today.
And he was right. Less than a year after launching BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF, IBIT has surpassed its gold ETF in terms of assets under management. The gold ETF has been around for almost 20 years, and the Bitcoin ETF, less than a year. Like most monopolies in the digital age, there is a certain brand or technology that dominates an entire space. Think of Apple in computing, or Facebook and Instagram in social media, or Tesla in electric vehicles. Well, Bitcoin is the new dominant technology dominating money. Although some people are claiming this is a Trump trade, as Bitcoin and gold have been diverging since the election, it's not that at all. Bitcoin is merely doing what Bitcoin does every cycle, and particularly after a halving. You can see as you look at this chart that Bitcoin's price tends to rip and run about 14% a little after 180 days after the halving, which is almost exactly where we're at. It works like clockwork. And just 2 years after cycle bottoms or cycle lows, Bitcoin continues to exhibit the same behavior. If Bitcoin does what it's done in previous cycles from the bottom, we could see prices of $200,000, $300,000, and even $400,000 per Bitcoin within the next year or so. If you're enjoying this Bitcoin Simply show, I want to introduce myself. I'm Dante Cook. Like and subscribe this channel. We drop content here 6 days a week. And if you've been following this show for any amount of time, you come to understand that we're all about Bitcoin here. And if you're curious about what Bitcoin is, or what's an exchange, or why do I need to take self-custody of this thing, well, I encourage you to start your journey by getting connected with an expert like thebitcoinway.com. They will pair you with a Bitcoin technical expert to help you learn the basics of cybersecurity, self-custody, and securing your Bitcoin versus leaving it on exchanges like Coinbase. Schedule a one-on-one meeting with their team today at thebitcoinway.com. 5 years ago, the median home price was $329,000, and it cost you about 44 Bitcoin to purchase a home. Today, the median home price is $434,000, and it costs you less than 5 Bitcoin to purchase a home. Save in Bitcoin, afford a home. This is why Natalie Brunell says that Bitcoin is the purest expression of the American dream.
So, Natalie, you know what I thought was intriguing is you look at the places where Trump outperformed with young men 18 to 29, 42% are in crypto. Black Americans, 23% are in crypto, 21% of Hispanics. These are people who are finding a different way of saying, hey, I think I can get a piece of the American dream, but it's got to be something non-traditional. You knew about this and talked about it a long time ago.
That's right, Charles. Well, you know, Bitcoin is really the purest expression of the American dream of freedom and self-determination. And Bitcoin is a financial system that was created by the people for the people. It wasn't funded by big corporations or venture capital or government and special interest groups. It grew from the ground up entirely organically. And how often do we see something like that? I mean, Bitcoin offers this entirely new vision where we can truly own our wealth, and it really transcends politics and borders and backgrounds, which is why I think it's the opportunity of a lifetime.
If you work hard and you save in Bitcoin, you can own a home, or you can store your salary in Bitcoin versus in fiat. Russell Okung, a few years ago, took half of his salary, $6.5 million, and elected to be paid in Bitcoin. Today, that Bitcoin position is worth over $45 million. Bitcoin brings financial freedom, and that freedom allows you to do the things you truly want to do in this life. Saquon says that financial freedom was able to help him do this kind of stuff again.
And picks up the first down, jumping up in the air to the 30.
I got the guaranteed money I want. I got the contract that I want. The last 3 or 4 years, I've been on a one-year deal. I can go back and playing ball. Like, yeah, I'm jumping over, people again because I got money. I got I have security. I have financial security.
It allows you to play freer.
Play free.
We all want to fly like Saquon. We all want to fly like an eagle. And Bitcoin gives you the ability to do that. My advice to you today is to take a look at Bitcoin, even if you've been skeptical, like Dave Ramsey or Peter Schiff or Peter Zeihan. You might want to take some time to learn about how our financial system actually works. And so I leave you with this 40-second masterclass from Vladimir Putin on how the United States dollar is created out of thin air, and it absolutely wrecks the global monetary system.
только на том, что доллар является значит, мировой валютой, Соединенные Штаты за последние 10 лет получили просто так, из воздуха, 12 триллионов долларов. Просто так. За счет того, что они имитируют, раздают, потом эти же деньги поступают, как правило, в их банки, в их финансовую систему, и там еще стригут купоны, получают от этого выгоду. Но это счетная позиция. Просто так, с неба, сваливаются эти деньги. И это, конечно, тоже все должны учитывать.
We all have to work. And in exchange for our work, we get paid in dollars. We cannot create dollars out of thin air. And every time your government or someone else creates money out of thin air that you have to work for, it devalues all of the work that you put in. And that's why we save in Bitcoin. Life gets cheaper the more that you save in Bitcoin. And although you may consider this last day of an $8,000 gain or $20K in a week to be a fad, this is no fad. This is almost a mathematical certainty. Maybe it's time that you consider Bitcoin and stop laughing off every friend or person who's been recommending it to you for the last several years. And with that, we're signing off for the day. This is Dante Cook with Bitcoin Simply. Happy stacking.
All right. Hold on. Let me make sure I can still. Are you guys still with me? Hopefully you could hear the whole video.
Yes.
Okay.
Are they saying that Bitcoin is worth 92,000 now?
Last time I checked, I was 91. So if you say 92, then yeah, it is 92 then.
When we started talking about this, what was it, like 60?
Yeah. Possibly. I spoke to my in-laws and it was 40.
Wow.
I think they bought a 60. I think they bought a 60. I asked them last time, what's up? You must be happy, right? And I saw some emojis and I was just like, and I told my wife, I was like, I bet you they sold. I was like, I bet you they sold. But it is what it is. It's a mind game a little bit too. It's an ego testing game. You know, what you value the most. But yeah, yes, 92 might be the number. But I hope this video was informative. If you liked it, then thank Danica. Because she had the brilliant idea to say, hold up. Make sure you share this. So what I wanted to continue on this topic, first and foremost, before I go, questions, comments, concerns, I want to make sure we all on the same wavelength there, because that was a lot to unpack in 10 minutes. That was a lot too. Yeah, shoot through the questions. I'm ready for it, and I'm gonna write them down because you guys have excellent questions every single time. Yeah. No questions? Y'all want to wait for the end? Totally fine with that too.
Go ahead, Elder Michelle.
Oh, I was gonna ask a question regarding BlackRock and what does it mean that they are now validating the fact that this coin-based society is something that what did he call it? Digital gold? Like what's the now comprehension of when the big guys now want to get into the market of trading digital currency? Is that seen as a good thing or a bad thing? Thank you.
Absolutely. Good question. First and foremost, great question, right? I mean, rich people getting in. What's left for us, regular people, right? I feel you.
With BlackRock, and like you said, a lot of the other, they were very much on the gold being the standard, and they kind of poo-pooed digital currency. So now that they are blessing digital currency, it's usually a play behind that. So what's the play behind BlackRock, which controls a lot of, like people who have 401ks and all of their investments and everything. Like BlackRock is who
Yes.
invests all of those billions and billions of dollars. So now
Yes.
what's the play?
Absolutely. Great question. Okay. I understand better now. Thanks for rephrasing. So basically, as you already know, and you can tell, I can tell that you know, BlackRock is they have trillions of dollars under management from rich people, from other rich people. So they manage money, right? They know about money management. So I guess your question is like, why they flip now? And I have plenty of other videos that we probably don't have time to get into, but yeah, they did flip. They were all about gold and other traditional assets, and now they're flipping. So let me tell you why they flip. Because of hopefully I can. Where's my mouse? Okay, hopefully I can. When you're sharing, you got all these things in the way. So yeah, because of somebody named Michael Saylor. I don't know if you know the dude, but he's all over the news every time we talk about Bitcoin, and he gives interviews left and right on CNBC, Fox News, and he basically, these guys they're curious a little bit, but it seems like based on his speeches, he explained that he was a skeptic. There's a video where he clearly say that he was a skeptic in the past, and then he became interested in it as a technology. He talks about blockchain. He loves talking about that, the blockchain technology. So he's not talking about the Bitcoin as like a payment or like a medium of savings. He said that recently that he now understands that you can save people, anybody should be able to save in Bitcoin if they're, I'm using his words, if they're frightened of hold on, if they're frightened of the current economic and financial political landscape, if they're frightened for the future of their savings. I mean, the dude said that on TV. I'm like, what world are we living in? I thought this was a joke. I thought the SEC said, do not do this. Da, da, da. So now I'm going to get a little deeper to answer your question, though, because I'm with you. Like, what's the hidden agenda here? Like, for him, now, there's two schools here, because me speaking, going on Twitter and stuff like that, seeing how people think, a lot of people are skeptical about two things: having the institutions, aka the mainstream investors, like the accredited investors. Like, I'm not accredited, I'm just a little normal person like you, right? But that high class, when they get involved in stuff like this, is to get profits, right? They are usually getting ready to get profits. I'm gonna go a little deeper to say that I don't think they can have a hidden agenda here, because we're not talking about dollars, right? If we were talking about traditional assets, then yeah, they know how to manipulate all that stuff. But here in Bitcoin land, you cannot manipulate the asset, the underlying asset. Now, on top of Bitcoin, there's something, and I have it here in the Bitcoin news, there's something called a Bitcoin ETF that came out last year or early this year. I forgot. Time fly by, y'all. So I think it was early this year, on January, I think. It was approved by the SEC to start the race of the ETF, exchange traded funds. So I have a link here, how to buy an ETF. I think at the beginning, it probably will tell you what an ETF is. Exchange traded funds, commonly known as ETFs, are a low-cost way to buy exposure to hundreds of thousands of stocks and bonds, making them a favorite of financial advisors and investors alike. So the reason I'm talking about ETF is because BlackRock created the first and the biggest, fast-growing ETFs ever created in the history of humanity. Okay. Now, you got to know what an ETF is. Right. That
But it
is,
sounds like that is the play. Are you saying that's the play?
yeah, it's a play, but it doesn't hit the underlying asset. That's what I'm trying to get at. So it's a play that is, it's like, okay, how can I put it? It's like you have, okay, no, that's a bad example. But it's a play that cannot take you anywhere unless you're ready to lose everything. So an ETF, if you know what an ETF is, then you already know where I'm going. But an ETF is a paper money. It's a, it's a, it's a, it's basically, we call it paper Bitcoin, right? So a Bitcoin ETF is a paper Bitcoin. So a paper Bitcoin that just says, hey, whenever you're ready to cash this Bitcoin out that you purchased with me, when I gave you this paper Bitcoin as a receipt for the purchase, then you come and see me, BlackRock, and I should give you your dollar value back to you. Oh, hey, Dr. March. So the problem that you kind of are alluding to is that what if, just like the regular bank, what if I come in next year or 2 years down the road and it becomes a bubble where basically BlackRock claims that they have $1 trillion, like a thousand Bitcoin or 2,000 Bitcoins, whatever, right? They say that they claim that they have that. What if when you come and redeem your little paper Bitcoin, they cannot give the dollar amount value back to you because they don't have the underlying asset? That's the major question that you're kind of asking right now, right? Because of this type of scenario. A lot of people believe that this is not possible because the underlying asset, yes, they can play, but their reputation is on the line here, and they should not put themselves at risk of not having enough Bitcoin to back up the ETF. You know what I mean? Like the amount of like the thousands and thousands of dollars that they have under management as far as Bitcoin ETF. Do they have the underlying asset that match that amount? That's the main question that you're kind of asking. So for that, we don't know for sure. But all I can tell you is that that Bitcoin reserve, the underlying asset that supports the ETFs, the Bitcoin ETFs, that reserve it's held by none but Coinbase. And Coinbase is notorious for dealing with other coins and not necessarily, um, they have a reputation to hold, but only time will tell. It's just like a bank, I guess, right? Do you want to play the game or do you want to opt out, right? If you play along, then you tied because your money is tied with them. If they mismanage the funds like TD banks, right, then is it too late when you realize that, oh, why did I do that? Or you took a risk, right? That at the end of the day, you're taking a risk with them. And what people like me, who's been here for a long time, we advocate is not to buy an ETF, which are the instructions are right here, if you so choose. And I can share that link with you if you so choose. But what we advocate is to actually own the underlying asset. It's almost like you have the option to just print your dollars and keep it, right? Like the value of that dollar freshly printed without the paper, whatever manipulation that comes after that by the banks, you get the fresh value of it and you own it and it grows with you, right? That's basically the comparison. So I advocate for you to be able to own your own Bitcoin instead of relying on yet again somebody else, just like the banking system, somebody else to hold the thing and say, "Oh, I got you." And then we have issues like TD Banks or other, what was that? The other one, I forgot what it was in the West Coast. It was a bank that failed as well. Totally forgot. But that was crazy. That was a crazy fiasco. But yeah, hopefully I did answer your question, but I don't know what I don't know, right? I don't work for BlackRock, but I can only speculate that I hope they're doing the right thing for all their massive investors. We believe that they're doing the right thing. First of all, I don't trust Coinbase at all. I would never recommend Coinbase, but I'm not other people, and I can only talk about the existence of all the different avenues to get to the Bitcoin. And again, hopefully that was a long-winded way to answer your question, but I hope I answered your question there.
Thank you so much for, you know, shedding some light on that, because when I saw that BlackRock was getting involved, I felt like just what you said, because they understand they have a hybrid consumer, somebody that might want the security of how they, because they were able to exchange it, like once it became tradable and them being able to exchange it like they do the dollar or paper, like you said, like paper-based coin. That right there was where I felt like they were trying to make a play for a market. And then, like you just said, I didn't realize that they were backed by Coinbase. So now that makes a whole lot of sense. So you shedding light on the fact that they're backed by Coinbase. And so that play that they're making, along with the gentleman who made the comment that if you have, even if you are an average citizen, this is another avenue or way for you to save. But then, as you said, why put the middleman there when you can carry your own coin? You don't have to put a middleman there. But there is an age group and a mindset that is going to stay stuck. And I believe that's why they joined the chorus now, because they're going to sell that hybrid. Conspiracy theorist that I am.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It's good to be skeptic, by the way. I just want to commend you for that, right? That will protect you forever. To be skeptical first. To be skeptical first, and then seeking and understanding then, right? Because like BlackRock, Larry Fink, he said, I was a skeptic. He admitted it. See that humility there? Now, I mean, we don't know people's real agenda, but you don't need to know. That's what I love the most. Is that he can do with Bitcoin, there's a new paradigm shift here. You have to let your enemy win too. You know why? Because he's going to turn into your friend too. And it's just not like, it's just a law of Bitcoin, because we are having the same baseline. It's not, we don't play in the Wall Street games anymore. Like, yeah, it's an ETF. You don't have to buy the ETF. But if you think in dollars, how do you get into the stock market without getting into the stock market? There's no other way. There's no other way. So it's a different rule. It's a different game that has different rules that even Larry Fink, even the president, whoever it is, they will have to abide by that. This ETF is a fiat construct. If you're still thinking that you're going to cash this thing out for dollars, then you are no better than Larry Fink. Because you're going to cash out, and get dollars, and you just have that greed. Like he got the same greed. Like we are no better. We just playing the same game here. We wish we were him secretly. We not admit that. If he's the bad person and he just rug pull everybody on this ETF because he got the #1 thing. Like, I mean, you don't even want to see the charts. I mean, I guess Dante shows the charts on the video earlier, but yeah, you have to accept that Larry Fink is doing what Larry Fink does, but he's working for you. I know this is a good way to put it. He is working for you if you bought Bitcoin as well. If you buy Bitcoin, then he is pumping, I hate to say it this way, but let's just be clear. He's pumping all our bags. He's pumping your bags. He's pumping his bags. He's pumping my bag. He's pumping everybody's bags. So let him pump the bags. Let him go on CNBC, talk about his stuff, and be happy and say that he was converted because he helps you at the end of the day. I will argue it will help you first, because you are, I think you're worth more than him. As far as because he get access to things that we don't get access to. Like he get insights into things that we don't get. Like I have to talk to y'all to tell y'all about this, but we didn't get, clearly y'all didn't get the insight back in 2015, 2013, when it was affordable. It was super affordable to buy Bitcoin. You didn't get the juice, right? Even if you did get the juice, I think what Larry Fink is admitting is that it takes humility to admit that you were wrong about something so crazy as even something who makes money on the daily, okay? He's admitting publicly that so this is another thing that makes people feel like it's a it's a good thing, and he's having good intentions. Larry Fink is having good intentions about this ETF and how he's planning to develop this and bring this to the masses. He has good intentions, even though his Bitcoin is stuck with Coinbase. He actually recently asked Coinbase to reveal their reserves, right? When was the last time you saw the Federal Reserve saying, "Oh yeah, here's the auditing"? The Fed never passed an audit successfully. As far as I checked, like they never passed an audit. Like they don't even want to be audited. But this Larry thing, he said to Coinbase earlier this year, he was like, "Hey, look, we want you to make a couple changes on the way you handling this reserve." So I thought that was pretty interesting because if you don't care, you don't ask about that type of stuff. If you're really ready to rug pull the world. So yeah, plenty of speculations about Larry Fink. There's plenty of other ETFs. So yeah, he is the number one. There's other people that are competing. So there's competition here. So no matter what he does, there's other players around. So it's not like the Wall Street where you're the bigger shark and you can just literally swallow all the other baby fishes, and they can't do nothing about it. No, this is an open competition. Now, yes, financial rules apply in the fiat world, but the underlying asset, you're not feeling concerned about whether he does what or what. Now you're feeling concerned about your next of kin, because if they bought the ETF, then you feel bad if something happens. You feel like terrible. You're like, oh man, I've been trying to tell you not to do this, trying to tell them to get the actual asset, but you feel bad if something happened like that, but that would be catastrophic for the actual market as a whole. Yeah. Let me write stuff down. That was a great question. Hopefully I did answer again, Elder Michelle.
Would it be safe to say that the 1% is maybe driving up the Bitcoin because they know changes are coming down the pike with the new administration?
Can you repeat that one more time? Sorry.
Would it be safe to say that the 1% is driving up the Bitcoin stock because they know what's coming down the pike with the new administration?
Interesting question. Okay. I see what you're saying. I'll get to this in just a second. Yeah, great question. I want to say yes and no. The reason I say this is because, okay, I'll go deep a little bit. We had an election, a presidential election that happened, right? And all of us Bitcoiners, we kind of knew what was at stake here. We saw already what Trump promised to us, right? To us, not only Bitcoiners, but right, the American citizens. And we were super excited. So there was a drive there. We knew what to expect. Like he promised certain things. And I mean on day one, okay? So we're looking for him, like, hey, look, if this doesn't happen, well, as soon as you get in office on day one, we will have some problems. But a lot of people believe that, but what he said that, y'all know Trump. Y'all know Trump. Hey, he's funny. He's funny. No matter what we think about him, the way he come up and say stuff, he's hilarious. But we were waiting for him to announce those things, and he did. I mean, against all odds. So as soon as the election happened, the price shot up, right? The price shot up, but a lot of people are quick to say that's the election. That's because there's something tangible that they can just pinpoint that happened, like an event that happened. We used to do that with the market, with the stock market. We do that all the time. Oh yeah, the presidential election. Oh yeah, Amazon's gonna shoot up. Oh yeah, okay. With Bitcoin, That is not a guarantee. I'll tell you that right now. So that's the no part of my answer. With Bitcoin, anything is absolutely possible. Especially what I do, I expect the opposite of most people expect. So it makes me feel like, hey, look, if it goes down, at least I know and I'm prepared for it. But um, but the market, the 1%, like the rich people, I guess, I think that's what you meant by the 1%. Um, they
Yes.
they have no influence and like I said earlier with Larry Fink, yeah, they're pumping all bags. It's a more literal way to say it, but the 1% for the first time ever, they're working with us. No matter how much of value they scoop, there's always going to be, no, let me put it this way. I'm not going to say there's always going to be Bitcoin available for you to buy. That is not really something that I should put my hand on because there's only 21 million of the asset. Now, the 21 million are divisible. But what I was trying to get at is that there's, and I can show you who got the most Bitcoin, right? So basically, they can have 100,000 Bitcoin, 300,000 Bitcoin. It doesn't matter to you. And I'm going to tell you why. Because in fiat, we have this tendency to compare ourselves with other people because we see value in what other people buy with that value, right? But in Bitcoin terms, because the asset is so scarce, AKA you can't just print more when you need more. You have to work and earn it. You have to mine it. So three things. You work to get it, right? Or you get paid, right? Salary. Or second thing, you mine Bitcoin, you participate in the network, and you use your electricity at home or somewhere, wherever the electricity is cheap. You plug your machine and you earn Bitcoin. That's the second one. And the third one, dang, I forgot. You trade it for something, right? You say, hey, I got a refrigerator. Hey, I can sell that to you and you give me Bitcoin, right? That's a trade. You exchange it. So those are the three ways. You mine, you sell, you earn. You buy, you mine, you earn. That's what I was trying to say. So everybody got to do that. And guess what? The 1% is doing? They're buying, right? Some people are mining. There's a big company in Texas. Texas is huge, by the way. I just want to say that Texas is huge in mining Bitcoin. So Texas, they're playing a whole lot of different game here, right? Like these guys are regulating the electricity in the state. Like, if you know anything about electricity, I'm just going to throw a little parenthesis here, and hopefully I'll circle back to your answer here on the 1%, because these guys in Texas are going parabolic in the way they are mining Bitcoin for their state. And once you get this, then you understand where we're going. So Texas is balancing the grid, the electric grid. If you know anything about electricity at home, I see a Apostle guy, everybody got light. I got a light right here, right? Everybody uses electricity and it costs you a certain amount, right? And guess what? You don't use electricity every single time of the day, right? You go to sleep, you turn the lights, off, right? So what happens when everybody turn the lights off? Who's using electricity, right? But that doesn't mean the electricity is shut down at the plant. They keep pumping it, right? They just gotta reduce the load. They can only maneuver a certain amount, like it's a wave, right? But they're losing money by not consuming the electricity. So guess what Bitcoin comes in to do here? It comes in to regulate the load by buying the electricity that you and I don't use when we're sleeping, and we buy it for cheap, right? And it allows us to get Bitcoin back. You understand this? It is crazy, mind-blowing. I'm gonna repeat it again one more time. This 1% of people in Texas, they invested in these huge machines they bought these huge machines to plug to the electric grid. I think it's called, I forgot what it's called, but ERCOT. It's called ERCOT, ERCOT. They plug their machines to ERCOT directly, like the grid, and ERCOT pays them. No, I'm sorry. They pay ERCOT for the unused electricity that they're overproducing, and these companies, they get paid by the network, the asset. Remember, the underlying asset. So hopefully that was a long-winded way to answer your question, but that 1%, sis, you ain't got to worry about it. You ain't got to worry about it. They're helping you. So whether it was the election that pumped the price, Christmas is going to come around the corner. A lot of people are expecting this price to go to 100K. I mean, we're at 92. I didn't even do anything. You didn't do anything. We're working like normal. The president's working like normal. Larry thinks working like normal. We're not making magic happen here. We're still working to produce and to buy the asset. And by doing that, we're on the same level playing field. Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. All right. It's great. It's great. It's great. Perfect. So same answer. Larry Fink is working for us. Actually, I'm going to change this. I'm going to say President. Should I say President-elect? He is already elected, right? President is working for us. This is a big announcement I have to make. And while I search for it, anybody has any question, feel free to jump in. I want to make sure that you guys get, the answers to your questions. But I'm going to search for what I want to announce to y'all. And it's crazy if this even happens. That's what we were talking about with with Elder Von Seal before everybody joined today. I like to go to Forbes.com. It's because it's legit. Is Forbes legit? I think they're legit, right? What do we know about legit news, traditional media now that we have the internet? But anyway, so okay, if you have any questions, feel free to stop me, okay? Like make it very, very live, and feel free to interrupt me, and I will be so happy to answer your question. We can go in any direction. Again, I don't have any particular, I don't have any. I win when you win, and I don't earn anything. And you see, I'm not even asking for anything. I'm not asking for anything. I do this out of love because there's no stopping this train. The money that you and I are using, we y'all already know what I'm about to say. Okay, let me read this. A Trump U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve game changer is suddenly hurtling toward the Bitcoin price. Bitcoin has rocketed higher following Donald Trump's U.S. presidential election victory this week, with traders braced for the Federal Reserve in China to add a perfect storm. I don't know what they mean, but okay. All right. The Bitcoin price has topped $75,000 per Bitcoin. I think this is an old article. November 7th. All right, that's old. But setting a fresh all-time high. So we had 92K, we said earlier, right? As serious fears emerged that the 35 trillion US debt pile could trigger cataclysmic economic collapse. Clearly. Now, amid wild speculation about Elon Musk's plans for the meme-based Bitcoin rival Dogecoin, analysts are betting on a Trump Bitcoin, quote-unquote, game changer. So the GOP's commitment to clear crypto regulations and making Bitcoin a strategic reserve asset is set to be a game changer for industry growth. Jean-Marie Mognetti, the chief executive alternative asset manager, CoinShares, said. So just like with the space race or recent Bitcoin mining developments, we've always believed that when America steps up in crypto adoption, it'll do so with gusto and ultimately take the lead globally. That's what we want. That's what we want. Now, we're about to see this shift happen, making widespread US crypto adoption feel more like a sure thing than ever before. I hate when they say crypto. That's not it. That's not a crypto act. That's not a crypto act. This is a Bitcoin act. I wonder why they picked Bitcoin, but okay, that's a different question. Anyways, I digress. The Bitcoin Act, introduced by U.S. Senator Cynthia Lummis, Republican for Wyoming, this year, calls the creation of a strategic Bitcoin reserve to reduce the U.S. spiraling near $36 trillion national debt by buying 1 million, 1 million Bitcoin over 5 years. In a keynote address at a July Bitcoin conference in Nashville, Tennessee, this is where Trump spoke earlier this year, and that's how we knew that oh, this is about to be crazy. Trump promised to make the U.S. the quote-unquote crypto capital of the planet and create a Bitcoin strategic reserve using the Bitcoin that the government holds. The U.S. currently holds just over 200,000 Bitcoin, worth around $15 billion, mostly seized from criminals, making it the world's largest government holder of Bitcoin, with China close second. That is not true. Let me rephrase this. Forbes, you lying. That's not a criminal. His name is Ross Ulbricht. He's been sentenced to 2, not 1, 2 life sentences. And the second thing that Trump announced during this conference in Tennessee was that on day 1, he will free Ross Ulbricht from prison, from an unjustified, completely unfair sentence over a website. He didn't launder the money. But anyway, there's a whole case to it. But I just wanted to mention that, from criminals, like, who are the real criminals? Is TD Banks a criminal? or they paid the fine, so they're not categorized as a criminal, and it's just a little petty offense. Laundering money? Is that anyway? I digress. But we are going to build a strategic Bitcoin reserve, Loomis posted on Twitter after Trump won this week's election. This proposal would establish Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset, with the U.S. government acquiring up to 5% of Bitcoin's total supply. That's a lot, y'all. Adding it would give Bitcoin a similar role to gold. Yeah, clearly, or more, I would argue. If implemented, the Bitcoin Act could drive considerable institutional and governmental interest in Bitcoin. Yes! Potentially accelerating its growth and pushing its value to new heights. And I would argue new heights never seen before. Like 100K is nothing. That's a floor. 100K is nothing. I would argue myself, 200K is a petty little pebble. I laugh so hard sometimes. I'm like, man, am I crazy? That's crazy. Like, if I laugh like this, people would think that he must have like 15 Bitcoin. I don't. I'm just like, y'all, I need more. But yeah, David Bailey is a very prominent figure in the Bitcoin sphere. He's the chief executive of Bitcoin Magazine and publisher of Bitcoin Inc. and organizer of the Bitcoin conference that Trump spoke at, has been advising the Trump campaign, and this is how we knew already before the elections, right? Has been advising the Trump campaign on Bitcoin strategy, and said earlier this week via Twitter, he thinks we're just months away from a nation state or a few entering the market in size, in billions of dollars every month. I mean, insane. This is the end of the article. I just wanted to say that because if you understand this, so as far as I saw in the news, there's I think it's Polymarket. I think they're the one that was also involved in the elections of the Trump and Kamala. I think they're prominent. They have a estimated approval rate for this bill right here, which actually I think it was what's the word? I think it was pushed today. I think pushed, not passed. But what, I don't know the term, but you know what I mean. So what was I saying? So I was saying that we already knew that if this passes, this would have major significance in everything, because this is the same country that was demonizing all the whole crypto industry and saying, the Federal Reserve, I can name, it's countless. We go on the news, they just bash us. Oh, Bitcoin is too volatile. But why? Why there's such an interest, Mr. Larry Fink? Why such an interest, Mr. Trump? Why such an interest, rich people? And y'all saw the football players. Unbelievable. I forgot his name already, but the guy who did the flip, I was like, all right, he seems so happy. Y'all see his face? He's like, yeah. Live my best life, y'all. I'm gonna translate what he said. I live my best life, y'all. It's the translation. So I know I laugh a lot. I play a lot. I would argue Bitcoin gave me this peace, right? I work like everybody else, but as soon as I get my paycheck, and I'm not necessarily telling y'all to do the same thing if y'all don't want to, but y'all grown. But as soon as I get paid, the money hits the bank account for a millisecond. I gave y'all all the websites, swanbitcoin.com. They do that very easily. My preferred way is because it's an app and I love it. But Swan also has an app that you can use if you so choose. The funds from a deposit hits the bank, bounce for like a millisecond. The brokerage account, right? That's what they are essentially. These companies that allow you to purchase. Even Cash App they have a brokerage account, right? They have they have a way to allow them to do this. So the money hits their account, and then they buy Bitcoin for me, and they send me the Bitcoin, right? And as they send me the Bitcoin, that's what I have. That's what I have to spend, or that's what I have to save. I have to make my own decisions, and I couldn't love it even more because I don't have to ask for permission. Even if I would do this on Cash App, I probably wouldn't trust Cash App with a paycheck. but to a certain degree, but I think that there's many ways to live your life to the best of your ability and to your liking, something that makes you feel fulfilled, something that gives you hope for the future. Because that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about the future. And I never understood that this is what we're talking about. Like the decisions to buy a house, the decisions to buy a car, the decisions to buy something now versus later is the essence of what we're here talking about. Because Bitcoin, you have to buy it or do something with capital. Where does that capital resides today? And what are you going to do with it? Is the main question that is on all of our mind as we evolve every day. Christmas will come regardless. The president will still get into office regardless of what we do today. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen regardless. But one thing for sure that all of us Bitcoiners know for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, 2 or 3 things. The first, and I don't mean it in a gloomy way, we are going to die. The reason I say this is because of the second point. Therefore, we need to value our time and energy today as much as we can to its just value. Sometimes we make decisions that are completely irrational, financial decisions, I'm saying, that leads to nothing, and there's no fruit. I think it's in the Bible. It says you're supposed to get 30-fold, 60-fold, or 100-fold. If we don't get 30-fold, 60-fold, or 100-fold, there's something that we're doing wrong. Because we're supposed to have some sort of seeds that are supposed to produce something. And you know how people say, I ain't got no money to invest. Oh, yeah. It's like saying the seed that I planted, there's not even like a little stem that grew out of it. like you planted it, you watered a little bit, and nothing came out. Like nothing. Like actually, the plant that you have, it grew, but like on the other side, like that's how people say I'm in the negative, I'm in the red zone, like my bank account froze, or all this crazy stuff. That means like in an analogy way, I would use the analogy saying, like, if we're supposed to have this seed and we plant it and it grows the other way and we're negative, we go buy a car and everything red, then we just figuratively thinking of a seed that's supposed to grow up and it's growing down. Makes no sense. But to finish my analogy here, I think we don't value, we think we're not going to die. We think that we can afford to make certain decisions financially that have little impact. And then later on, because you already know what I'm saying, later on we found out that it actually had a big impact. Buying this car had a big impact in my life. The decision that I made yesterday, now it's catching up on me. It's very funny how that works. You know what I found out? And I wrote that down here, actually. No, it's not here. I found out that buying a car, I know y'all smart, y'all already know this. I'm late to this game. I found out that, where did I put it? Sorry. I found out that that I don't know where I put it. I don't know where I put it, but I found out that that the car, I can actually search. I found out that the car that we purchased from the parking lot, from the lot, what is it called? Car. Hold on. Sorry. I'm doing too many things at the same time. There you go. I found it. I found it, y'all. I found it. I got too many pages and too many notes, too many things. Okay, I have it right here. So I'm going to show it to you, so it's going to be better. I found it out, and I was like, what? Do people know about this? If I knew about this, I would have bought a beater a long time ago instead of buying this car on a car note. But anyways, here's the funny thing. That's why I decided not to buy a car this time around. My wife and I, we got one car, and that's the car on the car note, and that's the car I'm rushing to pay off and get it off my face forever. But I probably won't be able to. If I don't, I'll get rid of it. I swear, I'll get rid of it. But in the meantime, I limit the damage. You see, I'm not adding another car, and if I do, that'll be cheap, and I'll pay cash for it. But I'm not interested. My point is this: how fast does my new car lose value? I didn't believe it. I was like, do people know about this? You see this beautiful analogy here. Boom, boom, boom. You buy a Nissan 37Z, right? Cost on the sticker, $29K. All right, 100%, brand new. 1 minute after you drive it off, it already lost how much? Hold on, 3K, right? 2,500. And no way. And no way. And that's 1 minute. I didn't even want to scroll down. I saw this. I was like, I don't want to know for a year. But I was like, all right, let me just scroll. So I kept scrolling. 5,000 after a year. I was like, that's crazy. You know, I'm still paying my payments. You know what I mean? You're still paying your payments, and the car is already leaking. Not oil. Leaking money. No, that's crazy. So then you keep going, and then almost at 40% left of the total value, TMV, the total market value, is dropped down to after 5 years, because that's the average loan, right? 40%. So it's worth 12K. Okay, thank you. I think I'm good. I walk. I'll take the bus. I promise you, I'll find a way. But anyway, my point is that we have to limit the damage here. One thing that I wanted to mention, and I'm so happy I have two of the people that I appreciate so much, because you guys are crazy awesome. Mardor is there. I'm so happy that you're here. I hope that this whole meeting is valuable to you, and please feel free to stop me. I can talk forever, but I like to pause sometimes and give people the room to ask any questions, you know, at any time. So feel free to stop me, okay? But I'm happy that you're here, and I'm also happy that Elder Michelle is here as well, because I like you, and you know I respect you for selling these. You know, I don't know, you don't sell the house, I guess. Okay, forgive me with the technicalities. I'm just a regular person that just buy nothing but Bitcoin here. I don't know nothing about the housing market. And please, I have so much to learn from you, right? But I wanted to tell you, because I think we've been talking about this for a long time now, in this type of meetings. I have this video. I think it's on Unit 1. I think it's. Oh, hold on. Before I get there, sorry. I'm going too fast. But to kind of finish this point, there's a video from Michael Saylor explaining I mean, he debunked the real estate versus Bitcoin in comparison. You know, as far as like, you know how rich people, they put their money into real estate to park their money. Like they don't even live in the house. They just buy a house just to park their money, you know? Smartest thing ever invented in the whole universe, right? If you can't afford it. Yeah. And then you recuperate the money later on when you got other people who stuck with the house and the repairs and then so on and so forth for many, many years, and they have to pay it off and stuff. But compare that versus Bitcoin. Go for it, Apostle Will. Yeah, please.
So we basically, since we started talking about Bitcoin, we started out, it was around 60,000, and now it's up to 92,000. So basically, it's I guess that would be a 50% increase, basically.
Yep.
Over
Yep.
almost 12 months or so.
Mhm.
So given everything that all the articles and everything that you put up and all the projections and everything,
Mhm.
I guess I'll ask you not what somebody else would do. I would say, what is your plan for how you're going to move forward, like over the next 12 months?
Good question. I like this. This is a great question. In all seriousness, nothing. Buy more. I'll be honest with you. Like, I don't have nothing to hide to y'all, honestly. See, this is where financial advisors and all those people, like they would finesse this answer, right? But it's so easy that it sounds ridiculous. I'm trying. Well, so two things I'm trying to do. I have a job like everybody else. And I'm not gonna say I hate it. I started being weird. I'm not gonna say I hate my job. I love it. I think I'm getting better at it actually, honestly. But anyway, I think about getting another job to get more cash. I'm like, I am, you know. So I'm thinking about getting another stream of income somehow. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm valuing my time and my energy. So this is a very weird paradigm that I'm battling. I'm like, hold on, sure about this though? Like, okay, how you want to do this? So there's that. There's many avenues. I have a company. I don't know if I ever told y'all because I'm not doing anything with it, but I have an LLC that I'm trying to find how I want to bring this to fruition. So this is point number 2. That's an avenue for me. And the third point is if I don't do these 2 things or any of those 2 to increase my cash flow, then I have to manage what I have. So I have to get more, cut bills, do whatever it takes. I need to buy a house. And I'm gonna go a little deeper to this answer because everybody want a house. Let's just be real here. Like, I don't know. Maybe not everybody, because I'm also in that weird camp where I don't want to have the stuff that comes with the house, the responsibility. I hate that. But like, I don't want to cut grass, y'all. I don't want to cut grass. But anyway, to answer this question, so I want to cut all these bills that are completely unnecessary, and I want to allocate. That's the technical term here. Allocate more dollaritos into Bitcoin, more and more and more and more and more, because the only thing that restricts me a little bit sometimes is that my wife, she's more rational than me. She's more like, yeah, we got bills to pay, and we should, leave some in the bank account. Just leave some. She's like, please leave some. She's not saying leave me some. She got her own money, but that's how we flow. We got 3 bank accounts, right? One for me, one for her, and one for the bills. And the one for the bills is taken care of. We're good. But it's the one for the bills sometimes, because it comes from my check, But there's extra that's there because the way we kind of, I know I'm getting a little deeper. Hopefully I'm still answering your question, but the way I don't mind being open with y'all. Look, if that can help somebody, look, the way we fund the bank account that handles the bills has extra in it. I don't like that. Look, I'm the type of person, I don't know about y'all, but if there's a hole somewhere, I will patch it. I don't work for nothing. There's no way on the planet that this energy that I expend every single day, you mean to tell me that I do what I want and I'm not responsible for the leakages in the house? And no way I'm not gonna justify it. So me and my wife, we have this talk, we have this thing where we talk. We hash it until like 1 o'clock in the morning. We're like, all right. Hold on. 950, 200, 500. What do we do? What do we do? What was this? What was this purchase? What was this? What was this? What do we do? What are we doing here? Because we know the mission. We know where we're going. She would love to have a house.
So you saying the mission is
I would buy a house. Honestly, I think I would buy a
more
house.
liquidity to put into more Bitcoin, or
Yes.
Okay.
Because I want to buy a house. I believe that. I believe that. Let me see. Where's the thing here? Okay. Let me give you this website right here. There you go. Right here. This is. Hopefully you can see. I'm gonna put 1 Bitcoin. Okay. Hold on. 1 second. I just want to make sure you can see what I'm about to show you. So 0.1, right? This is how you calculate Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Most people, when they say Bitcoin, they're thinking 1. And that's the price. You see at the bottom, $92,000. Let me zoom in. Hopefully y'all can see, right? Y'all can see, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 92,000 Bitcoin. They think 1 Bitcoin. But you don't have to get 1. When you get a paycheck, we have to divide this. So this is the zeros that comes after. So I'm going to do 0.1 Bitcoin, right? Y'all still with me, right? And you see that changes the comma at the bottom. Instead of 92K, we are $9,218 for 0.1 Bitcoin. My thinking, long term, and this is the true answer to your question. What I want to do and what I believe is that, especially with this Bitcoin strategic reserve in the US, I love America. Anyway, I digress. With 0.1, I believe that you will be able to get a $500,000 house. I know, that's crazy. I know. Throw tomatoes, y'all. Throw tomatoes. Hey, no credit score needed. The bank will be my best friend. They'll be like, oh yeah, come here, Mr. Jetro. Hey, we were expecting you. Matter of fact, here's some coffee. Hey, you want some champagne too? Okay, here, there you go. Now I'm VIP all of a sudden. With 9K, got transformed and shot up to I don't know what, and I buy a house? Okay, that would be crazy though.
So what would you say the timeline would be on it? Let's say if you had the 9,000 sitting there.
9,000? Yeah.
What would need to transpire for you to be able to take that Bitcoin?
Well,
that 0.1 Bitcoin and buy
a house? I have 2 options. I'm gonna answer this with 2 ways. The first way is I can sell it, right? That's what you think, right? I can, when the price goes up, and I told you, right, the strategic Bitcoin reserve is this is what's gonna take it. That now the nation is interested in the asset that I have. What do you think? So they used to say that's not money. Now it's clearly money. It's clearly money in everybody's face. Like it's like, oh, like you go to the gas station, they're probably gonna be like, hey, look, that ATM, and you know the ATM machine at the 7-Eleven. I don't know if y'all seen it before, but if you go to the 7-Eleven or wherever, you may see a Bitcoin ATM machine. Don't be shocked. Try it out. There's an IP there, but try it out with $20 if you got $20 to lose. Not to lose, but to test with, because that still grows in value. Anyway, I digress. My point is, it'll be in everybody's faces, and the value obviously goes up in dollar terms because nobody wants to sell, right? So my point is that I don't even have to sell. That's point number 1. I don't even, actually, no, I'm sorry. Point number 1 was I can sell it if I really just want to go through the bank or whatever, or I can just buy a house for cash. However, I don't know how that works. And Elder Michelle, this is where me and you could talk, right? Right. So you can advise me and see how I can maximize my investment. All right. Right. Now, option 2, and this is the juiciest of them all, you can loan your Bitcoin. Okay, you're the bank now. You loan the asset. It's like having gold. You go, you know, you don't go to the cheapest. What's it called? Thrift store? No. What's it called? I forgot what it's called. The shop, the thrift. No, the one where you can just buy stuff. I forgot what it's called. You can just exchange stuff. Anyway. My point is, you loan it. You got the asset. They want it because there's not enough for people to go around with. So you loan it, you get the cash, then you buy the house with it. And then when you pay off the house, you still got the Bitcoin. That's still a good value. Like you winning so hard that your eyes like, like remember when Trump said, "You're gonna win so hard that you're gonna be tired of winning." It's like, only him can say stuff like that. But hopefully I answered your question. That was a long-winded way. 2 avenues. You buy
So,
it with the- Yes.
so if I understand you correctly, and this is where my son, and that is kind of like what caused me to be online, because we had this deep conversation about not just, I call it digital currency, right? And because I'm not talking about any specific one. I know your favorite one, but digital currency, right? And so what you just said about housing and leveraging and no longer being, not being part of the fiat system, but not being subject to the current credit models. And that if we as the body of Christ don't understand that this is an economic opportunity to move in ways that the current economy doesn't move in. So the same rules that apply to the ultra rich apply to us. So like you said, if you're going to mine funds, I like what you said about mining, whether you could take your dollars and use it for mining to buy digital currency, and then that digital currency you can trade with others for something that they desire of value, but still keeping that digital currency in circulation. Is that what you're saying? You're going to keep it in circulation, but still obtain the house that you want because you're exchanging it with someone else for something that they find of value.
Yes and no in a sense, but you were right. You were right on it. You were right on it. You were right on it. The only key piece right here is that as you are borrowing, so basically you borrow against your asset.
Yeah.
Right. You borrow dollars because that's what the person who's selling you the house, whatever you're trying to buy, needs. Right? Or whatever you need. Let's just say you value that, right? Or you need that cash flow, whatever it is, and you borrow money against. There's a website actually I can show you right now. It's called enlightening.io.
If you could drop the links in our WhatsApp, that would be
for
great.
sure.
I was just wanting to kind of clarify when Apostle Will was asking that question about the moves that we should be making. Not you're telling us what to do, but when we try to understand, like I do understand that you can own a fraction of a Bitcoin, right? That we get that it can be fractionalized. So understanding it could be fractionalized. And even with that fraction, Joe Average has an opportunity.
Yep, absolutely. Right. You can buy $10. Yep, $10 will be.
So what
right
to go a little different. Not, I mean, Elder Michelle is on point, but just let's say, from a planning perspective, based on all the information that you put out, all of the things that everybody's foreseeing for Bitcoin. Should right now I be trying to have $9,000 sitting there? Let's say if I don't invest nothing else, if I don't buy another Bitcoin and I have 9,000 in Bitcoin today, how is that going to serve me to getting my house in the future based on all the information that was put out?
Well, you will have one of those 2 options that I mentioned, right? You'll sell the asset. I highly would not recommend that, especially because it happens every time. Once you sell it.
Oh no, I'm talking about like what, based on all this information, what would be the expectation well, what should be the expectation for my $10,000, say over the
Oh,
next
it goes up.
5 years?
Yeah, yeah. The value goes crazy up
So
over
we looking,
time.
do you think based on the information, we're looking at the rate that we just saw over the last year since we've been talking about Bitcoin? Let's say in
Yeah.
5 years, what do they project? What would be
Oh, yeah. Oh
the
my
way
gosh.
everybody's projecting and I real all the information in 5 years? What would a Bitcoin be worth?
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm gonna throw a bomb at you here. And I'm not gonna go too crazy because there's some numbers. You can see some numbers. Remember the chart I showed y'all last time? You told me,
Yeah,
okay,
I'm just
hold on to
curious
that.
because I'm trying to see because what I'm getting at is uh, we can't tell somebody what to do with that money,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Mhm.
I just want information so that people can have a basis to think from. So like
Uh,
if somebody's sitting on a line now and they're saying, well, dang, all this information, I don't know what I should be thinking about doing, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
what based on all this information, all the articles, all of everything, what would you say the projection is over the next 5 years? Um, what should we be thinking this is going to grow to? Because I was expecting it to be a jump, but I wasn't expecting it to jump from 60,000 to 90,000.
Right?
Actually, I was
And
shocked when I saw you bring it up earlier because I haven't looked at Bitcoin for a couple minutes. I was like, dang.
and
Mhm.
this is the challenge there, right? And you can see it. Is that I have to be a little bit. I'm aggressive with my knowledge. I have no like if I let me put it this way. I'm gonna use the Jesus analogy because I came into this very recently. My analogy here quickly is that I came to this Jesus land fairly early. I know you may not know, but I, I didn't read my Bible. I didn't understand speaking in tongue. What does that mean? Danica used to drag me, and she could tell y'all. She used to drag me to church. She used to be like, and I'm thinking, here we go again. Why we gotta do this every time? I used to have comments that I used to be ashamed to even say out loud, but I'm not ashamed anymore. Here we go again. What, this is the same type of comments that I used to hear also when I talk about Bitcoin in public. People tell me like, no, no, we don't accept, no, we don't do, no, you got dollars, no, 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 we don't accept these weird stuff. So for me, I compare the the Jesus land in the Bitcoin compared to the Bitcoin land a lot in my life because it's so similar in the way it is real but it's not tangible. Like the fact that it's not physical, it has something that to me it's so debatable, but yet when you experience it, it is so powerful, right? And I think it's so funny. That's why I made sure, and you remember, right? I made sure to show and help you experience Bitcoin so that you can also see for yourself that it is a real thing, although it's not physical. So that's just a little analogy that I kind of like to think about. But to answer your question, oh my gosh, I say people, let her think, okay? Since we're still on the topic, he's the one that clearly he's expecting Bitcoin to hit, I mean, $285,000 by next year. That alone should make you think, right? And that's the baseline. There's a guy named um, Michael Saylor, and oops, that's my resume. Y'all probably, oh, you can only see my thing. Okay, I have to change
So
yeah, yes.
now and this is so that everybody can have some perspective because I know it's getting late on us. Um, because I was thinking, well, we just saw this thing jump 50% basically
Oh, this is
over a
good.
year, right?
Mhm.
That
This is
means
good.
if it did that for the next 5 years, it would be $10,000 would go to like 92,000 if
Yeah.
you had $10,000 in there. So, and I mean, you could do the math for any number if it's going to grow at that rate.
Yep. This is the prediction. Oh my gosh, this is actually pretty good. We say what? Next year?
5 years.
Oh,
Let's say,
5 years, so 2029, right?
yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
You can see my screen. Oh, am I crazy? Hold on, let me zoom in. I never heard about this website. Let me zoom in for y'all.
So that's the prediction. These are the predictions right here for how much it's going to be for one Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, for one Bitcoin, yes, yes. So if you get a fraction, just do the math on your fraction. But you just do 588%, for example, based on your amount. That's just increase that, and you'll see the amount. You'll chuckle a little bit. Um, you start laughing like this, But yeah, that is 2029, assuming things. But this is something that's not priced in. What I just explained to y'all, the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve bill that Cynthia Lummis, senator in Wyoming, has pushed in, is not priced in. That means that the market doesn't understand the meaning of that. So that means your model, this model from Changeley blog, it'll be crushed. It could, because I don't know the future. I don't have a crystal ball. But we love crystal balls here. That's what we're doing right now, right? So in a perfectly crystal ball world, and I know we are time here to kind of finish on this. This is the estimation here. In any way, it's all green, and not all green like S&P 500. I mean, y'all saw the S&P 500. They went like 10%. So like over the year, like they're struggling. It's like a locomotive, like a train, and you out here with a Ferrari, like, and you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. You're working the same job, but you making more money than the richest person that's being advised by his financial advisor to buy Amazon stock or to move money. But anyway, I could go on and on. I hope that I answered your question, and for everyone that they can see these numbers. Those are predictions, y'all. You can write it down. I can share this link with y'all. And we just did 2029. If you're patient enough, this really keep going up. 2040. All right. Don't come up telling me that you're not gonna be you're not gonna be walking in 2040. Like, don't come up and say I'm gonna be old.
20 years.
I'm gonna be
I'll still
old.
be
What's
here.
20 years?
I'll
How
still
old
be
will you be?
around.
Exactly, right? You will be riding in a Maserati, whatever.
With a
Whatever suits your
walker.
fancy. No, but I want to believe that I want to
But
believe that.
nevertheless, riding, right?
Yeah, exactly, right, exactly. Nonetheless, I mean, it's beautiful. Look at these numbers, 2 million. What average person can dream about 2 million? 2 million, and those prices are not accounting for inflation too. I'm just gonna say that, okay? Keep that in mind. That's not accounting for inflation. If buying a piece of bread costs you $30, because they keep printing money and Trump didn't do nothing, but clearly it seems like, at least over the next 4 years, he seemed to have a plan. Y'all already know the political sphere. I don't want to remind y'all. I know y'all watching the news and the TV and everything, so y'all know what's going on, what's happening, who he appointed as a this or who he appointed as a there. Everybody got Bitcoin. Everybody got Bitcoin. I was like, what? They bought Bitcoin personally. I'm like, you couldn't have dreamt of it. But I digress. Dora, I didn't hear from you. I hope and I pray that this has been very useful to you as well, and Elder Michelle as well, because y'all knew. I mean, I didn't see y'all last time, so I'm so happy to see y'all.
I think that might. I don't know if anybody else have any questions.
Questions, concerns?
I think everybody might be good.
Everybody good? All right. Hey, look, it's not the end, okay? Y'all can always ask. Oh, I heard something.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, no problem. So I hope that this has been informative. We can pray and I can let you out. Okay. Oh, I see two things. Hold on. What did I miss? Chat? Did I see something? Y'all already know this. When you sharing, you just can't. Oh, I gotta stop sharing. Oh, did I stop? Oh, I stopped sharing. Okay. Okay. But so yeah, that's right. As Michelle said, don't cash out. Hold. Yeah. We call it hodl. There's a story to this, but yes, you're absolutely right. Don't cash out, hold. As soon as you're gonna cash out, you're gonna regret it. Viyesh Boyapati, if you know him, he's regretting it. He sold a lot of $1 million, and good luck, my dog. But yeah, all right. Let's throw a prayer, and we can be dismissed. So, Father God, thank you so much for having allowed this moment with all of us together to fellowship and understand and ask questions and understand what we don't understand yet, what we want to understand more of. And I pray, Father God, that all the information that was circulating in this meeting, I pray that this will be beneficial for the people that you chose forever and forever. And I pray that that information will be passed on. I pray, Father God, that we will be able to empower our people, Father God, to give them the knowledge, the blessing of knowledge, so that they can also fulfill their dreams, fulfill their destiny. And I pray, Father God, that it will bless their family and their generation like never before, like you predicted in the Holy Scriptures. I pray, Father God, that we will have the holy returns 30-fold, 60-fold, 100-fold, or more. You said 100-fold. I pray, Father God, that you guide us as we make these determinations and these decisions financially every single day of our life, forever. And I pray that you never let go of our hand in the process. And I pray all of those things in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
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 Thank you, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Have a wonderful night. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, you too. Good night, everyone.
Night,
Bye-bye.
everyone.